Harrison, let's go to Fayetteville, Arkansas. The Arkansas Razorbacks, they swept South Carolina. And I think the biggest takeaway here, Harrison, the bats coming alive for the Hawgs should terrify the rest of this conference. You and I mentioned it in preseason. If this team's just even average hitting, if they're middle of the pack in the SEC, they're going to be a force to be reckoned with. The way they're swinging it right now and the bounce back for their rotation this weekend as well, the rotation looked great. Pitching staff looked great. I think they really feasted on a South Carolina lineup that you and I talked about is just deficient of big-time SEC hitters. Let's just call it for what it is. But what the lineup is doing is exciting. And Harrison, I want to mention this. I want to ask you this first. Have you ever in your life heard of anything like this? I mean, I think even South Carolina fans would agree. The chicken curse. This is peak chicken curse. The chicken curse is alive and well. Sunday starter Dylan Eskew, in case y'all missed this, Sunday starter Dylan Eskew was scratched from his Sunday start. Well, why, you may ask? Because Saturday, a home run ball, add insult to injury, it's a home run ball, is hit into the bullpen. It hits him in the head, and he is forced to enter concussion protocol. I mean, that is like, how terrible is your luck to have that happen? Scratch from a Sunday start. Have you ever heard of anything in your life so absurd as that?
No. I mean, and it was in batting practice too.
Yeah. I mean,
I hate
keep
that.
Your head on a swivel. Keep your head on a swivel.
I hope he's okay, but like, that's just that. I don't even know if that's bad luck. That's just like, I don't know what that is, but just the odds, unbelievable of that happening, and just in a situation in which South Carolina can't afford that.
No.
He's their best starter. And I mean, you still have him on Sunday, which that's a whole nother discussion that I still don't understand. But like, I mean, talk about a dagger of just, a blow for a team that's playing on the road. I mean, God,
I don't know, Harrison, how much difference it would have made because Arkansas put belt to ass all weekend. I do agree with you, though. The whole, maybe it's time to go away from the whole Brandon Stone thing. Like, I know he threw well against Clemson, but, against Oklahoma, he gets shelled in the first inning, and that put him behind the 8 ball. And then this one, I mean, that game fell over before it even got going, really. I mean, before you got sat down and got yourself a beer and some popcorn and a hot dog, that game felt like it was pretty much donezo. They run rule you in game one. Yeah, dominating weekend from Arkansas. And Harrison, I kind of say expected struggles for South Carolina. You and I talked about it. I think that lineup's going to get eaten alive all season long. They just don't have a lot of high quality bats. And
they did get to Gabe Gakel in game 2, though. They knocked him out before the second inning, put 3 runs on him. No walk. I mean, he had 3 walks, no K, so that doesn't help, obviously. But I mean, Gabe Gakel's had his share of struggles for sure this season. But
yeah, he's been very up and down.
Yeah, I mean, it's been very, like opposite starts, it feels like. But when you have, a bullpen like they do with, Will McIntyre, who got his first save in game 2, and you have guys, that can, other pieces in the bullpen that can, pitch at a high level, like Fouch, who's still there, Wiggins and Coyle picked up the win, going 2 shutout innings in game 3. And you have, Zach Root, who has a bounce back start again, and Landon Beocheese, who has gives you a quality start in game 3. You can have those kind of blunders or just, spot bad starts because the offense is just so electric. But I will say, I mean, Arkansas did get to James McCoy too. South Carolina's probably best starter with Dylan Eskew.
That's what I'm saying. The way they're swinging it, Harrison.
They knocked him out of the first inning. 4 runs, 8 hits. I mean, he only had 1 walk. It was just hits and just loud hits, Chris. I mean, but to go on the road in Fayetteville and Arkansas, Chris, is not easy to do, especially with a team that doesn't have depth and doesn't have, strength on the mound and consistency on the mound. So I think it just played more to, this is kind of what you and I both anticipated and Jake anticipated too, to happen. But to lose, your starter on Sunday like that, just absolute dagger. Just kick them while they're down. I mean, it's just, it's frustrating because South Carolina, just how the trajectory of the program's gone the past 10 years. And just, I think it's part of that, but also part of everyone in the SEC and everyone in the SEC rising up, the tides rising up around the SEC. I mean, Oklahoma and Texas now in the SEC, both at the top of the SEC, right? I think it's just that much harder. And, how long do you have the experiment and, whatnot you want to call it with Palmieri last? I'm not saying fire Palmieri. I'm not. I'm just saying, what does length look like on that?
Yeah, a good
Because
buddy
Ray
of
Tanner
mine.
hired him.
Yeah, good buddy of mine said a few days ago, Harrison, after game one, that the Palmieri hire already feels kind of sad. I mean, I think to your point, nobody thought it was a long-term hire, right? You kind of, I think, did that just to bring a shot of national relevancy back to the program. And I mean, I said it. The problem is I just don't think they have the dudes. I don't think it's even a Palmieri thing. But that, admittedly, that hiring to me felt weird from the jump, Harrison. It just didn't feel like it made a lot of sense. And even hearing him, when he speaks on TV or press conference or whatever, and seeing him out there in the uniform, it still feels weird to me. It's just this just doesn't feel right. I don't know. It just, I don't know if
with all the players, like you said with Early, everyone wanted Early as the head coach. Everyone in South Carolina wanted Monty Lee as the head coach. Coming over from Clemson, then being their assistant coach, and now wanting him to be a head coach, and then they don't hire him as the head coach.
Yeah, but the bigger takeaway again, I think, Harrison, is what Arkansas is doing offensively, swinging the bats through 2 SEC weekends, because they did it at Ole Miss. I know that, again, you expect them to beat South Carolina, but the way they did it and the way they're swinging it, that's got me really fired up about the Hogs.
I think a big piece of that we, that kind of burst on the scene, and everyone saw in full display this weekend, was the sophomore Canadian, the transfer for Arkansas, the Florida golf coach transfer last year, Charles Davalon, who went on a tear this weekend. I mean, talk about with the Aloy brothers and, Havflick and everyone else, Iredale that they had in the lineup, and Koziel. I mean, he had a double and an RBI in game 1. He had, a home run and 2 RBIs in game 2. I think he had a home run in game 3 and another RBI. I mean, it's just he had a loud weekend at the top of the order. I mean, just on multiple times every game, mashing the baseball. He's seen it really well. And that's, just another piece of depth that Arkansas has in the lineup when he's swinging. I mean, the Canadian feels comfortable in that leadoff spot in Fayetteville. And I mean, it's only going to make this lineup scary to face.
Yeah, and that type of offensive attack, Harrison, again, it's one of the things that I thought the lineup was going to be better this season. It was one of the reasons I picked them to win the SEC. Long way to go, but it's a really good sign. This is a really, really good sign if you're, winning the SEC, we'll see. But the aspirations of trying to get back to Omaha, you got the offensive piece. That's really big. Again, really, really good sign for them.